My goodness, you know what time it is. It is time for the Tailor-Made Sports Show. It's with your boy, Marcus Taylor. Hey man, this has been a busy day, busy week. Guys are getting drafted. You already know, big time. Getting it in. It has been a wonderful occasion. But again, you're tuned in to Tailor-Made Sports Show, where we are the antidote to adolescent athletics. I have on the show today a young lady who has been in the grind. When I say in the grind, she has been in the grind. And when I say in the grind, I mean in the grind for a long time. And the beauty of this is she has always had this passion for young men. If you can remember, 3 years ago or so, I had Felecia on the show right before COVID, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct.
Right before COVID, we had a great conversation. We were talking about what we need to do. I talked about your story, getting your son in school.
Right.
We're going to talk about little highlights of it, where he is now, how that worked out. And we're going to talk about journey beyond
sports.
There it is. I threw the lob. So she has a program called Journey Beyond Sports. It taps into the lifestyle and the character and career building, the mentality of the athlete, male or female. She has been going around having sessions. It's not a motivational speaker. You know, that's where I come in. But she does sessions where she talks about the articulation, how to interview, what you look like on the interview, getting the importance of getting a haircut, about shaving, about putting on a tie. Those things we find very, very, very important. Those that are looking and listening and watching on Facebook and other social media outlets, you can find that on Felicia's web page and her Facebook page.
Absolutely.
And you also find it on mine. I'll be on Tailor-Made Sports. Plus, you know, you can look up Marcus Taylor on Facebook, and anybody can come look. We're live and getting it in, and you can see what Miss Felecia looks like. You already know what I look like. I'm bald head Santa Claus. But at the end of the day, I am excited for you guys tuning in today, because I think this program is going to be something that is going to be great for the city of Memphis, but for the country, because you're all over the United States right now doing your program.
I'm trying.
You're at collegiate campuses. You've been in talking about your businesses and what you do. You were in Atlanta a couple of weeks ago.
I was in Atlanta. I was on the Good Day Atlanta morning show, so that was huge.
Right, and then right after that, what happened?
Right after that, what happened?
You went. Then you go to another show and you sit down with another group.
Not yet. That hadn't happened yet,
okay.
But it's happening.
Man, hometown girl. You from Memphis, Tennessee, right?
I am from Memphis, Tennessee. Whitehaven High School, class of '91.
Garbage.
Oh,
that's what's up.
my
That's what's up.
goodness.
Legacy MTS. I have to talk about. Now, here's the beauty of that.
Yes.
So people want to know what a tie-in is, because I'm all about sports.
Right.
And I want to talk about the tie-in. The tie-in is you have been an athlete your whole life, right?
My whole life, 7th through 12th grade, if that is my whole life. I played volleyball, ran track. I was a cheerleader. So yeah, I've done that in my whole life, and I would not be who I am today. I would not have the character that I have today, the understanding to be able to work with other people if it were not for playing sports. So
that's what's up.
Yes.
Yeah, can't beat that. Killed it. So here we go.
Yeah.
I want to go back.
And thank you for having me today. What took you so long? 3 years. You said 3 years. Why has it been 3 years? Anyway, go on.
Yeah, let me go with the question. I've had, so the real thing I can tell you is that during the pandemic, you already know, I was doing it from satellite sites, wherever I was, picking up the phone. Had a lot of, as I go back and you asked that question, I was sitting with my son, we were having a conversation, and I've had a lot of top collegiate athletes who I talked to football, baseball, basketball, during the pandemic, who are panning out pretty good. And those that want to know what it is, you gotta look on Tailor-Made Sports Show or scroll down my page to watch the videos. But I got a lot of top Division football players that have done it. But here I go. So pandemic came and I had to do it like that. So we're back on. John Best allowed me to come back on the show. The opportunity presented itself, and we worked that thing on out, and here we are right now. So going back to that, your son was about to go to college. He was going to Alabama.
University of South Alabama.
University of South Alabama.
Right.
So he gets in. Y'all make that work. Give me the synopsis on where is he now?
He is now a D lineman at Jackson State University.
That's what's up.
Jackson State University. I love. Headed into his junior year.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, his junior year.
You said I love. Go ahead.
I'm an honorary, right? No Tiger. Yeah. I am.
Your son plays for him.
He does. Yeah, he does. But he is moving into his junior year in the classroom. Okay. Sophomore on the football field.
Okay, good.
Right?
Good.
So we got time.
Yeah.
There is still time.
Yeah. So hit me with it. Now this is what I get most excited about.
Okay.
What is he in school for? What's his major?
It's pre-med, so he's going to be a dentist. And it's so interesting that we're here today, Marcus, because he just called me last night. Ma, I need your help. I don't know what my next steps are. I don't know what dental school I need to apply for. So here I am making the connections with everyone I know, and it's working out.
Here's the beauty of that.
Yeah.
This is the journey beyond.
Right.
And for him to stay in the medical field,
right,
and play football at a high level, because Jackson State is not, since Dion was there, and fair or unfair, and anybody that's listening to this that's an alumni of Jackson State, I know what you're saying. Y'all were good before Dion got there, but y'all weren't on national TV until he got there. So let that be said out the mouth real good, real quick. I want to make sure you get that. Change the game for HBCUs as a whole, and we're going to have an HBCU conversation a little bit later on. But your son is down there playing a high level of football.
He is.
Where NFL scouts are looking more now than they have because of the opportunity of the type of athlete that are down there in those schools. So they're not going up on the radar, like it used to. You kind of call the NFL out.
Right.
Like, hey man, I got good players down here that's whooping these guys.
Right.
That you talking about.
Right.
I had to bring up one of my youngsters from Whitehaven as well, Aubrey Miller.
Right.
He dominates the Senior Bowl. He dominates the camps, and then he goes out, and then you don't draft this guy. So later on, you pick him up in the later rounds, and I hope he whoops everybody but who's standing in front of him, because we got to quit doing what we're doing, which is going to lead to another conversation later on. We're going to get in. Because the affirmative action thing is the biggest thing going on right now on the internet for any athlete, any student athlete, let me say it like that wants to attend a college. It's the biggest thing going on right now. So again, with you and your son doing it, I found it to be phenomenal. But more greater than that, what is your program that you're doing around the country at colleges, speaking to these teams, speaking to these football teams, these rowing teams, soccer teams, whoever they are? You know what I'm saying? What is their program?
So the name of my company is the Focus Group by Felecia. And I teach job seekers, I teach entry-level to mid-level employees, as well as students, high school and college, how to deliver dynamic job interviews. This is something that I did for myself. I tripled my salary within 3 years. So wow. I created a blueprint. So now what I'm doing is I'm going around teaching our youth, our community, our culture, how to do the same, because no one is teaching us that. And when you're talking about sports, of course, my son, when he graduated from high school, I'm going to the league, as a lot of young athletes have that same mindset. But what happens when you don't go to the league? How do you transition into the workforce?
Wow.
So that's what I teach. And not only do I teach them how to get the job, but once you get the job, how do you navigate your workspace? How do you move around? How do you progress your career within that company? So that's what I do.
So how has that been going? I mean, let's get on that. How has that been going?
It's been going great. I will say that the students that I have been working with have received it well, and I call it getting to the bag. A lot of times we want to talk about what we want out of life, the big houses, the big cars, the nice clothes, the nice bags, and the shoes. And we say those things out of our mouth, but we don't understand the necessary actions that it's going to take in order to make those dreams come true. So that's how I approach it. And when I talk that way, they hear what I'm saying and they understand.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So how have the colleges been receiving you and this program?
Right. So I have had the opportunity to work with Wabash College out of Indianapolis. And
what's the name of
Wabash?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, you already messed up that.
Guys, don't kill me. You know I love you.
No, because
they're watching, I'm sure.
No, I thought it because it's in a Wabash in St. Louis. Don't they have one in Missouri?
I don't know.
Yeah. I think yeah. I think it's one. I could be wrong.
Now you're gonna get me in trouble with my family. Guys, I love you. You're watching. No. I know you're watching.
No, that's me. That's me. Don't.
It's him. But so I had a session with them. It was a 2-day workshop actually, and it was actually at night after football practice, after they finished spring practice, and it was well received. I have a couple of their testimonials on my website. The dean of the program is the Malcolm X Institute there. I have a great relationship with him, and we're looking to continue that relationship. So it's just about spreading the word that this is necessary. This is a necessary thing that has to happen, a necessary conversation that has to happen with these student athletes. Because during school, during their college years, they're so focused on the classroom, they're focused on the field or the court, whatever it is, and they're not getting the blueprint of what happens after the championship is over. What happens after graduation?
Yeah.
How do I transition? How do I make this living? How do I create this lifestyle for myself?
Yeah, because you have to take into accountability the fact that a lot of our young athletes fail when there are opportunities for you to sell yourself.
Right.
And we lose on that because we don't know how to sell ourselves. Right. And so the program that you're doing allows that athlete to be the best they can be. And I think it's so important because you're doing so many things with the city. Like you got something going on with the maths program over there with Ike Griffin.
I do.
What you got going on with them as well?
So I actually train their interns for the summer, and I'm also working with the Memphis Shelby County Schools with their CTE program. I'm actually working with them now. We'll finish that program this week. So I'm working with the youth in the city, looking to continue those relationships and continue my impact.
So with that being said,
mm-hmm.
what is your mindset or your thought process? I know you talked about it a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
What is the ultimate goal for the program that you offer? What's the ultimate goal for that? What do you want to see? What are your good one? Measurables? What are your measurables when you do these programs and you go in and speak? What's your measurable? What are you looking at? You got 2 sessions with some young men.
Right.
What was your thought process in saying? What was your goal? What were you saying? This is what I want to hear out their mouth.
Right.
When they leave, when I get off of here,
right.
I want to leave them with this, that it resonates in their spirit for the rest of their life.
Wow. So, first of all, the goal is equality.
Good.
And I know we're going to get to that later on, but the main goal is equality. Everyone that I work with, everyone that attends my workshops, the goal is equality. And the fact that I want you to leave with knowing that you deserve to have a seat at the table. When you walk into those interviews, when you walk into those networking events, just understand that you deserve to be there. You deserve to graduate from college earning $80,000, $90,000 a year.
Wow.
You deserve that. So that's my goal, is to make sure I get you up to speed so that when at the end of the day, you're the one to walk away with the job. and not your competition.
Wow. That's something to think about. Because here it is again. We've got to start preparing this generation. We're losing. You know, like somebody was saying, you know, we worried about going to get a video game while they're trying to learn quantum physics. You know, we trying to get Call of Duty, and they're trying to create the software for Call of Duty.
Right.
And we just sit back and we just, I think a lot of times, and it's just not for the athlete, we want to be the consumer so much instead of the creator.
Not me. Any students that I'm working with,
There it is.
I want you to understand, you are the creator. You can be the creator. You deserve to be the creator.
No, and here it is. How many customers are we gonna have? You know, I'm not trying to be funny,
right?
But it still ties into the athletes because that's who you're talking to and that's who you're going to see,
right?
You know, the beauty of that is if your son Zion does not have opportunity to play professional football, correct, they could be in the United States or overseas. Europe does a great job of football as well. The Canadian League, all that good stuff. Because you got some guys playing Canadian League, they come back and play. You got the USFL and the XFL. You got programs that a kid could go pro. I had a young man on here a couple of weeks ago who plays for the Showboats by way of Florida. He went to FIU, you know what I mean? Had a couple of injuries, still came out, turned from a wide receiver to a tight end, and is playing for the Memphis Showboats. So, again, that journey can take you if you want to get into it. But guess what? That's crazy you say that. He's trying to get in med school, too, because I made that bid to FIU because they're one of the top medical schools in the country. Wow. And I was like, hey, this one of your own. Right. You know, that's crazy. He was in the med field, too. Athletes, football players well.
And we're not just talking about job interviews. So this young man, he's going to have to interview to be able to get accepted into that program.
Yes, ma'am.
You're going to have to interview for scholarships and internships and all these. So it's not just for jobs, but it's really for life. Who am I? This is what I do. This is what I do well. This is where I see myself in the future. How can you help me?
Yeah, and the beauty of that again is the passion that you have.
Right.
So there's a lot of people that are mundane. I was going to go back to this because I had to ask the question. And it was going to be jokingly, but I'm for real. How many of those players fell asleep on you because it was after football practice? I know they're kind of tired. They should be. How many went to sleep on you?
0.
Done.
And they had questions.
Yeah, and then you're on the screen.
Right.
So they had to sit in and listen to the session. That's the game changer because, and I say this for anybody, that almost puts you in a situation to fail.
Right.
Now you got to play this out. They put me on after they exuded all the energy that they have.
Right.
Showered or not, I'm tired.
Right.
And you tell me I have to sit in front of this screen and talk this lady about me getting better. And they're all attentive and paying attention with questions, interacting with you. That's the game changer. Right. And I think that speaks volume to what you're doing and the fact that you're excited. I think that's what sells for you. The fact that you're excited about what you're doing. And you're a mom. I mean, who can't, you know,
relate
all day? Like, right. I see you.
Right.
Okay, my mom was kind of like, okay. Or someone saying, I wish my mom was.
Right.
I hope my mom sees this, or I can take information back to my mama that she'll be excited about. And she'll start getting excited about what I'm excited about. Right. And it just makes a lot of sense to what you're doing, how you're doing it. The district, let me ask this question. Has any school districts talked to you about any of this that you're doing for the college players as well?
We are in conversations here within the city. I am also in conversations with, starting the conversations with the school districts in Atlanta, in Dallas, Texas, and New York. So those conversations are starting because it is about expansion. It is about, you know, when I started this business, it wasn't just about Memphis, although I love Memphis, born and raised, love it, but I really want to get to the masses. Our culture, our community needs us, and not just here in Shelby County. So,
wow. Let me tell you something, Shelby County. Let me tell you something, Miss is. What is it? What is it? Yeah, MCSC. MCSC. Yeah, that's it.
Right.
That's it. Yeah.
Get it right. I got him.
Yeah, thank you. Such a scholar. Y'all better stop playing. This young lady has been in Atlanta, on the radio, on TV. She's from Memphis, and they called her to go down to talk about what she's doing. How many radio shows have you been on in Memphis?
2. Yours and with Sora Bell Johnson.
Okay, so good. Now, Bill, yeah, I was on Bill. Bill, yeah. Bill told me I was handsome. You don't hate on. And what TV shows have you been on?
I haven't been on any television shows here in Memphis yet, but it's coming, I believe.
Look, Memphis, here we go again. By the time one of our daughters goes and blows up, then you give them all this love when you could be giving them the love right now. She's a homegrown baby. What elementary did you attend?
Oh, wow. Mallory Lauderdale, South Memphis, Alton Elementary, Willow Oaks Elementary, Havenview Junior High, and then Whitehaven High School.
Where'd you go to college at?
The University of Tennessee, Knoxville, 95 and 97. Go Vols.
Come on, man. But she live in Memphis. This her town. Black Haven's finest. I said it. Black Haven's finest. And she's not been on, and I'm major. I call myself major, so don't get mad at me. If you don't feel that way about yourself, that's something different. But I don't understand why she's not been on a show with what she's doing and what she's doing in the city. And here's the thing. Everybody talks about moving in silence. She ain't giving no money away. She's giving out knowledge. I understand you want to give silently. Do what you do. And I'm kind of on the fence with that because I think sometimes giving silently, the young people who need to know who you are, they won't get a chance to because they've never seen, they don't understand that somebody who looks like you is really giving out here. So, let's get at that. But you got somebody in your own town who is, again, doing her thing. Why hasn't she been on here in Memphis? Talk to me.
Let me say this in defense.
Nope.
Yes. So I'm working on a book right now. I'm currently writing a book. And part of my research, I came across these numbers a couple of weeks ago. Career coaching is a $15.4 billion industry. $15.4 billion industry. But 67% of the career coaches are Caucasian and only 10% are African American. And I don't even know what the numbers are for African American females. So I'm sure that number is even lower. So the information is not being brought back to our communities in the way that is being brought back to other communities. So this whole thing of career coaching and interview coaching is new. It's new to a lot of people. I get it, which is why I go so hard to spread the word as much as I can. So I'll say that in defense. Like, I don't need a career coach. I don't need anyone to prep me for an interview. Well, if you keep getting rejected, if you continue to receive those emails saying, thank you for your resume, but we've decided to go in a different direction, then that's on you. If you want to continue that, continue that. But it's been a while. People hadn't really thought about, I can really get someone to help me to go into these interviews and crush the interviews and walk away with the job. So it's a new idea. It's a new thought. So some people are a little slow to, accept that this is something new, but also this is something that can help them achieve their goals. But I'm here, not going anywhere.
You shouldn't. You're supposed to go get it.
I'm not.
You're supposed to go get it on a regular basis. So So here I go.
Yep.
Trying to get my feelings.
Me too.
Because you went to a PWI, right?
I did.
Yeah. UT North. But
my family, my entire family, are graduates of Lamont College. So here,
right.
HBCU here in Memphis, Tennessee.
Right.
Yeah, go LSU.
So this new thing that's going on just happened.
Mm-hmm.
This vote that just happened. That's
by 6-3.
Yeah,
vote.
overturning the affirmative action in higher education. And I'm trying to figure out what that looks like for my young people. This is crazy. You know, those at Harvard and University of North Carolina, that's what they're talking about.
Right.
Because, you know, those numbers are much higher where they use affirmative action. But now you're telling me that that's not going to be used anymore.
And you know what that says to me? Those schools who are excited about that rule going away, they are about to miss out on some amazing, amazing people. Amazing. They are about to miss out.
Well, elaborate on it, because I think they need to know. Not my perspective, because, you know, I get passionate about that. I think somebody else needs to come in and have that conversation, because I'm on HBCUs behind about certain stuff. Right. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You can't dispel when I look on the internet. They tell me what the housing is like. They tell me what the food is like, and it's from scholars who attended the school, right? Mm-hmm. Even when athletes come from PWIs to HBCUs, there is a vast difference between it. And I understand something about the money a little bit,
right?
But I always give this correlation. When have we put pressure on these entertainers, and I'm talking about athletes as well as singers, anybody who's an entertainer, because football is entertainment. No, it's a sport, but it's entertainment.
It is.
So anybody who gets paid to entertain us, I'm trying to figure out, and especially African-American ethnicity, mm-hmm. or minority, why aren't you pouring into schools like you should? Mm-hmm. Why aren't you having concerts at those things? Why aren't you having things going on at those schools? I ain't mad at nobody. I know some people out here get real money, but I'm trying to figure out, you want me to, this is a good one. You want me to be poor and stay poor until I'm 22 years old or 20 years old when I go to college, living not the best situation, and then get out, and when I start making money, you expect me to act like I know what I'm doing. You expect me to act like I know what it is to have money. You can't teach me how to manage no money. You ain't never had no money.
That's true.
I'm not tripping.
Right.
I'm with the HBCU, 1 million. Mm-hmm. But I'm so real. Mm-hmm. I'm like the uncle sitting on the porch. Hey, man, leave that girl alone.
Right.
You got 3 or 4 of them over there. Mm-hmm. What you messing with her for?
Right.
Uncle, you hating. No, I'm not hating, man. I want you to be the best that you can be.
Right.
And I want HBCU to be the best it can be. Because here's what's going on. Here is the bigger plan. They're trying to separate us anyway. Right. The only part they don't want us to be separated is when it comes to sports. You better believe it.
No.
Because you lose too much money.
That's true.
If you want to really talk about it, Deion Sanders is a great name, right?
Right.
He's going to Colorado, right?
True.
Well, they ain't won in 9,288 years. So you bring him in because of the social media flock that follows him, and he's going to be put on the main stage to keep those athletes, those good African-American minority athletes in your programs that you're going to watch. It's the truth.
Right.
Mad as you might get, angry as you might get, it's the truth. And I want my young people and their parents who are listening to the show to get the real from their boy. Make a great decision when you choose them for college, because long as they're doing this affirmative action and cutting it out, right, it's going to make it hard for your son to get in school. It's going to make it hard for your daughter to get in school. It's going to make it real hard for them. Not just, okay, so the big brother is a heck of a football player and his sister is a scholar. They'll mess around hard. I can't take them because we don't take affirmative action anymore.
Right, right.
That leads into so many different things. And so I'm on my soapbox, but here's where it sits in your lap. Could you imagine UT Knox without having an affirmative action going on?
I cannot.
Okay, yeah, stay right there.
Give me that. I'm sure I was a part of that.
Yeah, give me that. Yeah.
I'm sure I was a part of that because I wasn't graduating high school. I wasn't top 2% of the class. I wasn't in the middle. I wasn't at the bottom, but I was nice. But I'm sure I was a part of that. I'm thankful to be a part of that. And let me say, coming out of when I graduated from UT Knoxville, I didn't know what I graduated from, right? I had no idea. I didn't know the type of caliber of school I was coming from. So there were doors that were open to me because of the school alone, right?
Yeah.
So now with this whole rule being turned around, I mean, what is that going to do? That's going to force our HBCUs to bring everything up to the next level, right? Yeah. That's going to, and I started having this conversation months ago. Let me come into your career centers. Let me provide the blueprint of how to graduate and move into and transition into these corporations and these companies that are really paying well. And the corporations are coming to the HBCUs, but I hate to say this, but a lot of our students cannot get past the first and second interviews. So that's where I come in.
Wow. That's
and
good.
So if they can't get past the first or second interviews, and then they don't have this big school name behind them, where does that leave that college student that just graduated from an HBCU and they can't find the type of job that they've been imagining for 4 years?
Here it is.
Yeah.
I'm Gary, give you a head bust.
Okay.
That's what I do on the show.
All right.
What makes you so good at that? Why would I choose you to do that?
Right.
Why would I choose Felecia Higgs Walker
mm-hmm.
in the focus group by Felecia? Focus group by Felecia.
Right.
Why would I sit down with you
mm-hmm.
in a time like this?
Right.
Why would I sit down with you and have a conversation with you about this or trying to get in school? What makes you the expert on this? I got in my mind what I would say, but I'm not the focus group by Felecia.
Right.
So I'm asking you, what makes you the go-to on this? Give it to me. Because
I've done it for myself. So I was laid off in 2017 from a pharmaceutical job. My salary at the time was about $115,000. The next job I took a 60% pay cut. That literally went down to like $22 an hour. It was crazy. I earned my first promotion within 18 months. I doubled my salary at that time. Worked that job for 9 months. Went back into the pharmaceutical industry at over $140,000 a year. So I tripled my salary within 3 years. And thank God I documented everything. So I pulled everything together, created an online course, created workbooks, created all these different programs. But so now I'm willing to share that. Now I have it to share. The blueprint worked for me. Now I'm allowing other people access to the blueprint, right? Everybody is not sharing that information. There are so many people talking about careers and jobs on a very high level. I'm breaking it down. I'm breaking it down and giving the ABCs, 1, 2, 3s of how to do it, when to do it, how long to do it, who to talk to, what to say when you talk to that person, how long to wait before you follow up with that person. I'm giving everything. So I've done it for myself. I'm helping other people to do it. I've helped other people to do it. I'm changing my life. I've changed my life. I'm helping other people to change their lives, and I want to do it for our community as well.
Here's why I think you fit the mold in this situation. Again, affirmative action has been voted down. So institutions of higher learning don't have to use affirmative action. And so I would say to you, what will put you above the rest is you went to a PWI.
I did.
And you know what that looks like. And you understand what goes on in it. Like, we're not talking about a person that was from the HBCU and work their way up the corporate ladder and doing what you do. That sounds good. I ain't mad at it.
Right.
But for the college student who hadn't been there, that means nothing. I hadn't gotten there yet.
Right.
But the fact that you came from PWI and had to deal with situations like that. Again, we're talking about Knoxville, Tennessee. You got Johnson City. That's what? How far is Johnson City from Knoxville?
Wow. Not far, like an hour, maybe.
Man, do you know they still burn crosses in Johnson City? I'm telling you a fact. I don't care. Anybody mad, they know where to find me. You look me up, you know where to find me. It's a done deal. It's not still doing it.
Right.
And there's some good people in Johnson City. Don't get a misunderstanding. Absolutely. But no, it's still a lot of that going on right there at the borderline of Virginia. I'm not crazy up in the hills. I know what I'm saying to you. And for you to be that close in the 90s, right, early 90s, like I remember going up in Kingsport, Tennessee in 91 playing basketball, and they had burning crosses up there. They followed us around in a little mall in Kingsport, Tennessee playing AAU basketball. This ain't a story I'm making up. This is a fact. And you're up there in Knoxville at that particular time. I still say the same thing. It had to be undertone of us and them.
Oh, absolutely.
And how no matter how big you thought your group was, you still couldn't outnumber what's going on in Knoxville. I was just there a week or so ago. Right. Enjoyed myself. Went to a training, and I still could tell. Yeah. In some spots, and this crazy part, I saw a lot of interracial couples in the area that I was in. Yeah. But the crazy part again is I know that undertone still. Right. And so for the college athlete who's getting ready to deal with this. Right. So it's a lot of young ladies and a lot of young men. Tuskegee and Howard can recruit on a different level now. Right. Because Harvard is saying, I ain't got to let you in.
Let me say this. So my son was highly recruited out of Memphis. He started his college career at the University of South Alabama. We entered the transfer portal over a year ago, and we're now at Jackson State. I can tell you, I have seen, parents, hear me, I have seen a 360-degree change in my son, just in character alone, his discipline alone. I have seen it. I still have one more. My youngest son is 16 years old. Right. It's already known. Oh, you're going to an HBCU. Wow. He plays baseball. So as we are preparing to make these trips, these recruiting trips, we're only going to HBCUs. There is something about it. I wish, and if I can say that, I wish I had an HBCU experience.
You can't go get your doctorate from somewhere.
That's coming, but I had to get him graduated first. Jackson State, here I come. Yeah. We've already started the application.
I think one of my best buds is down there at Jackson State. Reginald Porter, he's in that program, whatever that is. A couple of guys. Yeah. He goes once a month.
Once a month.
Yeah, he goes down there. Matter of fact, I think he's done. I think he's doctor now. Wow. Shout out to my homeboy Reginald Porter. Used to be chief of staff during the time that Dorsey Hobson was here. Yes, I say it out loud. This is my homeboy. You better know it. Anybody know him, know me. You know what it is. That's my guy. Right. If you can't celebrate your partners, then who can you celebrate? Friends.
How many of us have them?
Yeah, stay right there. and that's another thing you talk about that has been opening up with the flip side of the affirmative action being kicked out like that. Now there are a lot of scholar athletes who will get the HBCU experience. And I say again, HBCUs, you got to step your game up. I don't care about you getting mad at me. I'm going to keep it real with you. I want to make sure, man, you give our babies the best experience going. I think we got to start lobbying for this money. I think we need to start trying to figure out how we're going to get this money into these schools of higher learning. Whatever you got to do besides twerking on the table, I think we need to get about the issue and take care of the business. Let me tell you something about professional sports. One of the best quarterbacks in the history of football was Air McNair, root to the Q. Where did he come from?
I don't even know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Was Jackson State. I just want to.
Jackson State? I don't know.
Yeah, I want to make sure. Was Alcorn? Was Alcorn?
I don't know.
I just want to make sure. It was HBCU one.
Was it? I don't know.
Yeah, you need to look it up right quick. Get on your phone. Ain't no way you sitting here and you don't tell me. Air McNair.
Oh gosh. Why are you putting me on?
Came from an HBCU.
Okay. Thank you.
You understand what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
One of the best wide receivers to play the game. Jerry Rice. HBCU. I'm just trying to play this out for you. I'm not talking about the other guys. Walter Payton. Where did he come from?
Jackson State.
Oh, okay. You knew that one. Yeah, come on. Where Aaron McNair come from? Yeah. You're going to give me that one. I'm not doing it.
Oh, gosh.
Not going to do it.
What's his first name? Listen, will you just give me the first name?
Put in Aaron McNair.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh. What?
I'm giving her that lesson in here. I'm trying to get her ready. Because here's the beauty of this. Here's the beauty of this. And there's no knock on anybody. But I think at this particular time, your service is going to be needed for that young man, young lady who wants to get in those institutions of higher learning, who we deem to be there.
Steve McNair.
Yeah. Steve Air.
Steve Air McNair.
Yeah, there it is. Okay. Make sure you get that right. Root to the Q.
Root to the Q's.
I think your services are needed for those young people being able to interview to get in those colleges like that.
Right.
Because now I really got to go in there and do my thing. And I'm not saying they didn't go in there first and do what they needed to do. Mm-hmm. But with affirmative action being voted down, I mean, what does that look like?
Alcorn State University.
That's what I thought.
Thank
you see, I gave you the last one. You should have got the whole two. Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. You're right.
So what I'm saying to my young athletes
now is the time.
Yeah, football for sure. Basketball, I think they battle a little bit. I think they do this thing now. I think Chris Paul heads it up. I could be wrong, but I know he's one of the spokesmen, the catalyst for this group that has this showcase for HBCU players and camp for the NBA to come down to watch them play, getting them prepared, having a great conversation for them. I think that's an outstanding program that they got going on. Which kind of puts a light to it. But that football, it's different, man. It's a grueling sport no matter who you playing. You know, and I think, you know, as the Bible talks about, it's going to separate the wheat from the tare. And so, you know, some of that we got to start coming down to the HBCUs. I think it has to happen. Deion, fair or unfair, I don't care what you say. Deion opened up that door.
He did.
For pro teams to start looking at athletes like that. And this is a great conversation today. It's organic, but it's so good because what Felecia does, Felecia Hughes Walker,
get it right.
What she does is she's preparing our young athletes, male and female, on how to get into college, how to interview, how to be prepared for what you got going on. Because fair or unfair, you're going into class. It's not like going into high school where they let your pants sag, got your uniform shirt on, you know, you look how you want to look. You're going to college where it ain't nobody trying to tell you what to put on. So you go with your gym shorts on, your flip-flops, and your T-shirt, and you think that the teacher is just automatically supposed to help you. You don't present yourself as needing help. This is college, man. Gotta look like you're in the classroom. It's called higher learning.
Right.
Here's a great synopsis. You can't go and not tie up. You can't have on no shoulder pads, and it's contact day.
Right.
Can't go on a class without a pencil. You can't go on the field with flip-flops on and think you're going to compete. You can't go in class with some flip-flops on and think the teacher's going to respect you. You making them feel like you so comfortable, like it don't even matter. When I put my flip-flops on, I ain't caring about nothing.
Marcus, it's called networking.
Okay.
It's called showing up for yourself. It's called showing up for not where you are, not where you've been, but where you're trying to go.
Ooh, love it. Love it.
And that's what we talk about a lot.
Because here's the beauty of that again.
Yeah.
For the young person who is losing their mind right now about what the affirmative action has done, I am still with you. But 5% of me says, knock they socks off when you sit in front of them.
Right.
Just 5%, because I'm saying you're great enough. What God has for you. You're going to be great regardless. Whether you go to Harvard or you go to Howard, you know what I'm saying? Whether you go to UNC or you go to Tuskegee, you know, whether you go to, what's that out there, UCLA, or you go to Fisk, you understand what I mean?
Right.
At the end of the day, because people don't realize Fisk has produced more African-American doctors. Yeah, stay right there.
Okay.
Stay right there.
Yeah.
Stay right there. I just want you to know, in your backyard in Nashville, Tennessee,
right,
HBCUs stand up. Again,
right.
I'm giving you this knowledge and I'm giving these nuggets because you still got great people that have come out of HBCUs without the affirmative action who didn't get it.
Right.
Man, you know, Vanderbilt is right around the corner from Fisk.
Right.
Right around the corner from Tennessee, what was Agriculture and Industrial College. A&I was the real name of Tennessee State.
Oh, really?
Yeah, A&I. Yeah, I gave you some history, Black History Moment.
Thanks.
Yeah, so when you talk about that,
right,
you still made it work. You still got some great people in history of life as well as sports who have come from HBCUs and done well. And I just think it just, let's not look at this thing as the world is ending, but a new world is beginning.
True.
We're about to evolve into something else, and it doesn't mean we're separate. I'm not gonna be mad at anybody that goes to a PWI. And I don't want him to be mad or she to be mad or they to be mad at me because I went to a HBCU. Because when we sit there in the interview,
right,
they want the best person.
They do want the best person.
They ask about your school.
They are
It's
not.
A lot of, let me give you one of my favorite student stories. Fred Smith. C student.
True.
Big in there.
True.
Stay right there.
Right there.
I'm just
the paper that he wrote about FedEx.
Where did I run for go?
You.
Yes, I just did on purpose.
But the paper that he wrote to talk about and explain this business plan about FedEx, he got a C on that paper.
The dude tell him, I don't think that'll work.
I don't think that will work. The
same person that thought it wasn't gonna work sends packages every day through that same program. Hey Fred, you remember me?
It's a great story. I love that story.
So when you talk about that, you have to go in and say, man, steal a chance. Man, look at me. Now I ain't gonna get too deep because we're still in sports. So, but I'm just saying, when you think about the Black Wall Street, stay right there on how to get in. And America, you got to realize this. You got to watch what you ask for too.
True.
We've been asking to give us an opportunity to kind of stand on our own, do what we do, let's build, let's do what we got to do.
Wow.
You got to be careful when they say, okay, it's like a dad is sitting there saying, man, you say you grown? You say you grown, right?
Right.
Let's make it work.
Are you ready?
Now, that doesn't mean that dad doesn't come in and still help out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But it means, you know, we got to do something different.
Right. Hopefully this will be an opportunity for states to step up. And going back to that conversation around funding for HBCUs. So hopefully the states will step up and say, you know what, let's add a few extra million to the budget for these state schools. So hopefully this is that opportunity for states, governments to step up and do something more for the HBCU community.
I just want my young people to hold their head up. I want right now, I need every HBCU, and I hope anybody that's getting this that's has graduated from the HBCU, I hope you're listening to this right now. I need you to step your game up. I need you to sell your university. I need you to sell the place where you love, the fight song that you sing, the tenacity that you have on game day, homecoming, rivalry week. I need you to start showing up. You are the best recruiter for the institution you attended and for the institution that you respect. You are the best recruiter. Had a guy here last week, a Lanite, Eric Brent. He's on every committee that Lane has. He's the newly named principal at Tresman High School. Young guy. Excited about what he's doing. But he loves Lane College just as somebody else loves the University of Memphis, Memphis State, UTK. He loves them in the same way, same passion. But we don't put ourselves in position as a whole to recruit like we need to. And I think we got to start stepping our game up and figuring out the way that the government can start funding us like they do everybody else and making sure that funding is equal. That's what I need the Supreme Court to do. I need them to go down the line and start putting money back to where it needs to be. I need them to make a big deal about what's going on. I need them to step that game up so they can put us in a better situation when it comes to what's going on with this decision. This life-changing decision.
So I have a story for you. So I'm also associated with the Lemoyne on College CDC, the South Memphis Renewal CDC under Jeffrey Higgs. And
Jeff.
And we have a program called Youth Build. And our Youth Build program is for youth between the ages of 16 and 24. And it's for those students who may have graduated from high school but still trying to find their way. It's also for those students who did not graduate, right? And they are lost. And so they're coming to us to earn certifications in construction, technical certifications, nursing certifications. And there were probably about 3 students. We were able to help them earn their GEDs, and now they are students at Lemoyne on College because we took their hand and we said, okay, what is it that you want to do? So, and this has been a beautiful, beautiful relationship, a beautiful situation, and just the way things have turned out for these young students who no one has ever had that conversation with them to say, you can do this, and this is how you do it, and this is where you can do it.
Here's the toughest part, and I'm about to get off this air.
Okay.
And I'm gonna say this. We have gotten out of using our hands. We don't teach those skills: carpentry, masonry, automotive, heating, air, plumbing. Most we have is barbering, engineering. We don't have those courses. We don't have those electricians. We're not doing those things anymore at our schools.
Right.
But we're not doing it in high school anymore like we used to.
That's true.
And we're losing because that's what we're going to. We're building again in the United States. We're building. You have to build a place for these computers to be in, for them to be cooled. The air conditioning unit. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's got to be a certain temperature to run computers like that at a high level so they don't overheat. Who's doing their work? Which has to have a plumbing system that works for water to flow through the building. Who's doing it? Who's building the floors? Who are cleaning the floors? Who are waxing the floors?
Right.
I found out that there's a certain kind of wax, a certain kind of floor you have to have in when you have all those computer systems.
Wow.
It's a certain kind of finish you can put on floors that you have to put on when you in a room that has, computers in there. So ain't no static, none of that going on.
Right.
It's not a joke, it's for real. But who's teaching these things?
Right.
And who's trying to teach these babies this? And thank God for a program that the CDC is having. Jeff, you've done it again in the heart of South Memphis. I am the South Memphis mayor. I am the mayor of South Memphis. I know you don't want to hear that Jeff, but I am the mayor of South Memphis. But again, we got to find a way to get our young men and young ladies involved getting their trade right now.
Right.
Look, Felecia.
Yes.
I have been enamored with what you do out of the full passion of your love for your sons.
Yes.
And how your greater comes from what you want for them. Each level is supposed to get greater and greater. My dad said that each succeeding generation should get better and better. And I think having your boys makes a great difference in your life. True. And you are then returning the favor, not just to your boys, but every young man, young lady, every athlete, student athlete, every person, scholar that run across your path. You give them an opportunity to get better. So I am honored to have you on my show.
Thank you.
On another level this time. It shows the growth over the past 3 years, what you've done, evolved as a human being, as a businesswoman, but most definitely as a mother.
Yes.
So, man, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for talking a little bit about the affirmative action. Gonna get a little more on that. Before I go, I want to shoot this out. It's get ready to be football season in the city of Memphis. I need you guys to do what you need to do. Decent and in order. Decent and in order. And anybody knows me know what I mean by that. I hope this goes viral in my city, but across the country. Stop going into the next man's backyard, stealing his chickens. And then playing like they ran over there on their own. One thing about chickens, they ain't going too far from home. Somebody got to pick them up and take them somewhere. And when they find out that it's their chickens, don't you get mad, be a man or a woman, and get them chickens right back to them. Because at the end of the day, that's a sad day that you got to steal somebody's chickens and you ain't got your own. You already know me. I love you more than you love me. If it ain't so, prove it. Root to the Q. But before I go, I want to tell you, you have just tuned in to the Tailor Made Sports Show. And I'm out.